Good evening, everyone. I'm Emily Brown, alongside Will McCarthy, and tonight we will be discussing one of the very eventful games from this past Sunday, the matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions.
You know, you're exactly right, Emily. Eventful indeed. A 30-17 victory for the Kansas City Chiefs against the Detroit Lions. But let's get right into some game stats.
So as for time of possession, the time of possession is very equal for these two teams. But based on the score, obviously you can see this wasn't a very equal game. So really the Kansas City offense dominated during this game.
Yeah, absolutely. When you get a game with that equal possession time, it sort of becomes a battle of blows, a battle of punches. Who's going to slip up first? It was Detroit, and you see that in the scoreboard as well.
Now, let's talk a little bit more specifically about the quarterbacks, because there was a great matchup between the two of them.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at it.
Jared Goff for the Lions. He has a great QBR right now of 72.4, and he's currently first in the league for touchdowns with 14 touchdowns. So even though this game did not go the Lions' way, he really has had a very successful season so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jared Goff, that NFC quarterback, always a threat for any team that goes up against him. But you take a look at the Patrick Mahomes stats, too. He had a great completion attempt ratio, 22-30, and 257 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, just better than Jared Goff in that game. And that extra offense is what we see on the scoreboard, because it wasn't a complete blowout, but a close enough victory for Kansas City, where that slight offensive edge gave them the victory.
And not only was it a good matchup of the quarterbacks, but also of the tight ends.
Absolutely.
So just to start, for Sam Laporta, 5 receptions, 55 yards, and 1 touchdown. Still had a fairly successful game. But really, Laporta is a very effective pass catcher for the Lions offense in general, and he really has shown that this season so far. But for his whole time that he's been with the Lions, that's kind of been the case.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a tight end. Tight ends are always that consistent receiver, the go-to guy that you can always find somewhere in the middle of the field. Travis Kelce, same thing. He put a ring on it with Taylor Swift, and he's trying to put another ring on his hand and get another championship ring, and that performance helping with that already. 6 receptions for 78 yards, that consistent delivery from Travis Kelce, helping out Mahomes as well every time he needed it.
Now, going back to Patrick Mahomes a little bit, is the Mahomes magic back?
Is it? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Let's take a look at the Kansas City Chiefs' last 4 games. You look at their victory against the Giants. That was with Russell Wilson. No Jackson Dart magic just yet, but a good win. A win is a win. Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson. A quality win, 37-20 with those AFC rivals. Go to Jacksonville. A tough loss for Kansas City, but that was a sort of legacy game, I'd say, for Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence really played a great game. You go down with the Chiefs and the Lions, the game we're talking about. That makes it 3-1 in the Chiefs' last 4 games. And Mahomes becoming the fastest player in NFL history to reach 300 career touchdown passes, doing so in just 139 games. So if you ask me, I think the magician is back. Patrick Mahomes, the magic is back.
Now, we can talk all we want to about the Mahomes magic, but I think if this play went a little differently, we'd be sitting here talking about the Jared Goff magic. So this was the trick play for Jared Goff and David Montgomery, where David Montgomery was supposed to be throwing the ball to Jared Goff for a touchdown. They were 4th and goal, and unfortunately, due to illegal motion, this play did not count. Basically, the rule within the NFL is that you have to pause and establish that you are back before going into motion. So personally, I don't think this should have been called.
I agree.
But maybe the game would have gone differently if they got this touchdown.
I think it absolutely would have, because that was a time with so much momentum up for grabs, you know, for both of these teams. This gave me flashbacks to the Philly special. I actually went back and I watched that. And you look at Nick Foles, when he's in motion out of the pocket, he freezes for just a minute at the end of the offensive line, and I guess protecting it from an illegal motion flag. But I just don't like that penalty being used here. You had a really well-thought-out, well-constructed trick play. Jared Goff fighting for the yards, fighting to get past the goal line as well. Controversial indeed, and it's unfortunate. I think it very well could have shifted the momentum, like you said, Emily.
For sure. Now, just to wrap up today, we're going to look at next week's matchups. So for the Lions, they'll be taking on the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are currently first in the NFC South, and they're 5-1. Their only losses to the Eagles during Week 5. And Baker Mayfield, who is currently an MVP favorite, he has a QBR of 71.1 and is currently 4th in the NFL for the most passing yards. So I definitely think that this is going to be a difficult game for the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, they're serving up baked goods in Tampa Bay right now. Baker Mayfield, an MVP favorite by far. And I think Detroit, they're so hungry after that loss to Kansas City. They really need a win, and now a big-time rivalry against an NFC opponent. I mean, this could be an NFC Championship game preview. This is a massive game for these two teams.
Oh, for sure. And then as for the Chiefs, they'll be taking on the Raiders, who are currently at the bottom of the AFC West and 2-4. So not as exciting of a game, but that is all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning into tonight's episode. Join us next time for episode 4 on October 28th at 8:30 p.m.